Hi everyone, I'm Dina with Mills Family Gardening. We live in North Texas Zone 8A, and in this video I would like to give you a tour of our garden to show you what's going on. Today is March 10th, it's early spring. Back in January we did have a full week of freezing temperatures, but after that it warmed up and it's been pretty mild this year. And we'll start the tour right here with this in-ground bed that my husband created last fall. And we planted a lot of perennials and some annuals in this bed. Right here, I would like to point out this cotton lavender. I've never been successful at growing regular lavender, but this cotton lavender is growing so well. I got it on clearance last year, and it's already gotten much wider and looks healthy, and it's been green all winter. All the pansies that are growing in the ground, I started them from seed last fall, and they're blooming beautifully. Back here, we have lisianthus that I also started from seed last spring. And it's been green all winter, not very tall, but I can see that new shoots are starting to grow. Then also we have fennel that I started from seed last year. And all these are ranunculus that we planted last October. We got some corms at Walmart and we did not soak them. We put corms straight into the ground and you can see that it's ready to bloom. We're excited and we can't wait to see what kind of blooms and what colors they're gonna be. That's a mix of colors. These three plants here stayed green all winter in spite of really cold temperatures. This is Salvia romeriana ariba that I also started from seed. This is Blackfoot daisy that started blooming just recently, and also snapdragons. They also stayed green all winter. And in the back we have that peony right here that I moved here a couple of weeks ago. It was growing in front of our house and it never bloomed, and I thought it was planted too deeply. So this time I moved it to a spot where we get more sun, and I also planted it very shallow. And next to it we have the best performing flowering plant in our garden. This is Salvia Mystic Spires. It started coming up pretty early this year, and last year it bloomed all the way until we got our first freeze. This is Shasta Daisy that I also started from seed last spring. And back there we have more ranunculus. You can see there, they're about to bloom. And we have more ranunculus back here. I can tell that this is going to be pink or red color. And there's more ranunculus. And also we have foxglove here that I also started from seed last spring. It did not bloom last year, but I'm hoping it will start blooming this year. Back in January, we put together a few containers with some flowers like pansies and also ornamental cabbages and kales. And I love all the colors. We have white pansies, some purple, yellow, light purple lavender colors, and we also have Dusty Miller that blends in nicely. They all look very beautiful and they have been blooming the whole time. Behind the pansies, we have a row of kohlrabi that I also planted last year from seed, and some of them are bulbing up, like this one for example. In this bed we had some root vegetables, and just recently we prepared the bed by mixing some manure and compost into the soil since we have clay soil. And I put the drip lines back on the ground, and now I planted some seeds of radishes, and back there we have some turnips, and then in between them we have some beet seedlings that I started indoors from seed because birds love to eat beet seedlings. For that reason I started them indoors and then planted them outside just recently. Behind the root vegetable seedlings, we have bok choy that we're letting bloom because we would like to collect seeds, and also I would like to attract bees into our garden. The plants are already forming some seed pods like here, and once they dry out, I'm going to cut down all plants and harvest the seeds. Next to bok choy, we have a garlic patch that I planted last October, and they all have come up. They look healthy and green, and we plan to harvest them about end of May or beginning of June. And then after that, most likely I will plant some heat-tolerant flowers so they would bloom all summer until next fall when it's time to plant garlic again. And next to garlic, we have this cute-looking teepee that I built for our sweet peas that I already planted in the ground, and they all have come up, and I'm looking forward to harvesting them with my children. Last fall, I put some seeds of cilantro in the ground in a circle, and here it is. I'm amazed that it survived a really cold week when the temperatures went down to 10 degrees and stayed like that for pretty much the whole week. And yet cilantro survived, and now we're enjoying it in our salads. And also, I planted a row of hollyhocks of different colors. I started seeds last spring, and they all look healthy. And then right here, we have potatoes that we planted back in February. They have all come up and they look healthy. Next to potatoes, right here, we have our asparagus patch. And you can see that our asparagus has already started growing. We've harvested quite a few stalks from it. Some of it already started putting out leaves, and the thin ones we usually leave in the ground, and normally we harvest the thick ones. This is our new asparagus in ground bed that we created last year, and we started this asparagus from seed last year also. It lived through the winter, and then it started coming back. Growing these nice and thick spears, so that means that it's very healthy and is enjoying growing here. And in about 2 years, we'll be able to harvest some spears from it. And also, you can see back there, we have a metal raised bed. That's where I planted some carrots, and we have some feral cats who like to come to our backyard and use our raised beds for their needs. So when I planted all the tiny carrot seeds in here, I was worried that the cats would dig them all up. And so I covered the whole bed with this netting, and it seems like it actually helped. The seedlings have come up, and they all look like they have not been disturbed. And in front of this raised bed, we have a newly created patch of onions. We started the seeds last fall and created this bed last fall also. And I also put the drip irrigation because I know that onions love a lot of water. And we started all these onions from seed, and when it was time to transplant them, a lot of the roots got damaged and got separated from the bulbs, but I put them in the ground anyway. Just wanted to see what will happen to them. And sure enough, they started growing new roots and also new leaves. They all look like they're actually gonna make it and hopefully produce some nice onions for us that we plan to harvest about end of May or beginning of June. And we would like to show off our grapevine that we planted 2 years ago. It did not produce any grapes last year, but this year I can see the first signs of grape clusters, which is very exciting. I did not have time to prune it this year, so I will have to be diligent to prune it next year before the spring arrives because it's getting leggy. The vines are sprawling everywhere. It's too big. And we put the tarp here to prevent the weeds from growing. We need to heavily mulch this area because with the arrival of spring, the weeds have also arrived. But you can also see that we have a small in-ground bed for cabbages and broccoli. I did not start these specific cabbages from seed, but I did start some new seeds just a few weeks ago, and I planted some seedlings in the ground right here, and we have some more seedlings that I need to move into the ground. But this cabbage looks pretty nice, so we'll try to harvest it and see what it looks like. And here's our cabbage. It will be a nice dinner for us tonight or maybe tomorrow night. And this is what our garden looks like. We're excited for the upcoming gardening season. We're certainly thankful to live in a climate with mild winters where we can garden pretty much throughout the year. Let us know what you're growing in your garden this year. Thank you so much for watching this video and have a great day.